Hi, my name's Matt. I'm a product manager here with iZotope, and we're at the NAMM2015 show, and we're taking a look at RX4. So RX4, which I have up here, it's a new release, and it contains a number of fantastic features, especially for people working in post-production and dialogue editing. But even before I look at some of the new modules that we have on the right, one of the things I want to talk about is a new module that we introduced called RX Connect. Because a lot of our RX users were working in Pro Tools and other programs, and they found going back and forth to repair and enhance their audio was very difficult. So with RX Connect, what happens now, I'm in my mix, and let's say that I need to select this particular piece of audio, I can actually send it right to RX, and it pulls it up. I'm connected to Pro Tools. I can display my time code down at the bottom if I'm working in film or TV. I can actually then do my audio fix with the full power of the standalone application. So I can use any of the tools in the standalone application to fix my audio. And then when I hit process, and the problem is gone, I can then send it back to Pro Tools, and it's ready for me to render. And once I render, that file is now fixed. So with RX4, we have a completely integrated round trip, so that whether you're working in a DAW or an NLE in your audio post-production or video workflow, RX now integrates very tightly with your software. So you can stay in here, do all of your mixing, and then whenever you come up against audio problems, you can immediately send them to RX, repair and enhance them, and then send them back. But there's some really great new modules that we actually added to change the sound. For instance here, and you won't be able to hear it that well, but we have two pieces of dialogue that have been cut together, and so there's dropouts in the background noise, in the ambience. If I actually send this here to RX, you can see here's my dialogue, but the background noise is missing. So in the past, we would need to select this and copy and paste it many times to fill the hole. But with the new ambience match module, I just hit learn and process, and it fills the natural sound of the dialogue background, so I can then send it back to Pro Tools. Here, I render, and then I can fade in and fade out. But also, I have an ambience track here, because I have all of my production sounds. I could actually just as easily create an ambient sound bed here, and then send this over, fill it with the natural sound that I've extracted. I can save these as presets too. Send this back, and when I hit render here, I have the natural sound of my ambience, and I could, if I wanted, then do something like this.
Okay, so now I'm compressing it.
So now my ambient fills the holes where it needs to fill the holes. So it's a very, very powerful new module that we've added. Another module that we've added that I will show you is the EQ match module. So if you've ever worked with any kind of dialogue where you're trying to mix one microphone with another microphone and make them sound the same, maybe it's ADR, if you're doing a voiceover because the location dialogue wasn't good enough. With EQ Match, you can actually send over a good sounding piece of audio as a reference, a bad sounding piece of audio for repair, and then in Pro Tools, I can open my EQ Match, learn the sound profile of this one, then apply it to this one. So now they sound the same. Also, if I bring back the waveform, you'll see that the volume levels are a little inconsistent, and we've added clip gain. So with clip gain, I can go through and smooth out the volume levels of everything. It's non-destructive, so I have all of my undo steps here. I can make overall changes,
If I had more time,
and then send that back. And then once I render, you'll see my audio is fixed. But also, if you're doing clip gain across a long voiceover, especially for maybe 15 minutes of a program segment or an hour-long piece of dialogue, like here, I might select a lot more of the dialogue, and then if I send this over, we have a module that will do the clip gain automatically for you. If I open up the leveler, it will tell me the RMS level of my audio, my dialogue. I can choose a preset, I can set the target RMS level, and then I just hit set clip gain. And what it's doing is it's running through my audio, doing the automatic clip gain adjustments for me so that my dialogue is much smoother. So if I zoom in here, you can see it's gone through and it's smoothed out my dialogue, so it's at a much more consistent level. I could then send that back. And of course, this whole time, RX is completely integrated with Pro Tools. I can then hit render, and I have my new dialogue track. And then the last thing that I'll show, just real quick. So I've actually finished this mix here. I have a reference mix that I finished. Now, to deliver that mix, especially because this is a TV show, I need to make sure that it's loudness compliant. So what I can do is select whichever segment of the show I need to make sure is within the specification. Send that to RX, and we have this module here called the Loudness module. And what I can actually do is choose a loudness standard, and depending on the true peak level that I'm being asked to meet, I could change this if I needed to. I'm going to put it at -6, for instance. Then if I hit process, it goes through my audio, it conforms it to make sure it's loudness compliant, and then I can send it back, and I could render it there. Or if I actually want to export it from RX and deliver it to the TV network, we have a lot more exporting options. I can now export as a broadcast wave format, and that will preserve all of the metadata, the time code. If I'm giving this audio to someone else that needs to drop it in a certain segment, make sure it's spotted in the right place, it preserves the correct time code information and the other metadata. And we've also added some other lossless audio formats. So I can do that, I can then say OK and export it to wherever it needs to be. So that's really, those are the new features in RX4. As you can see, a lot of those modules are really designed for the post-production professional at various stages of the production process. The main thing that we hope is that with RX Connect and also the leveler module, for instance, and the ambience match module, that RX is going to save a lot of time, which hopefully will enable people to be more creative because they're not stuck with as many audio problems that they have to deal with. So thanks for checking it out. If anyone does want to try the demo, there's a free 10-day trial, and you can get that from our website, definitely, and you can download it, install it, and just try it out for yourself at home. So yeah, thank you very much.